Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Man, we find some of the dopest seeds, some of the wonderful jewels, and most amazing spirits that is a true testament on this planet, man. And right now, we are talking to a number one Pan African hero, or hero for those who are familiar with Kemet. I mean, this brother is amazing. He's dope. We need to protect him at all costs, shield him from this evil, wicked system that we are in, and raise him up in every aspect and every manner within all of society. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show. It is my honor, my pleasure, my privilege to be hanging out this afternoon, kicking it with, you know what I'm saying, the great Dr. Umar Johnson. What's going on, my brother? How you doing?
My brother, glad to be with you.
Man, I'm glad to be with you too, man. You are a true testament of the human spirit, man. I really appreciate you for joining in and kicking with me this afternoon. So let's get started because I know you're busy. We don't want to hold you too much longer. I know you probably told your story a million times over, but can we tell it from a different narrative from your great cosmic energy that you have? You know, I was looking at the word comic book, and then I thought back to what Stan Lee said, how I'm pretty sure you already know, he created the characters of, Magneto and Professor X, which is based off, Malcolm and Martin. So I want you to be our superhero this afternoon, which you already are. Can you take me back to those days of you growing up as a younger man in your childhood? What was your vision like? Did you ever foresee this day? Were you having spiritual clues and hints and alignments as you was coming up as a younger man?
Say that my conscious journey began in elementary school here in Philadelphia, elementary school in North Philly, and I was lucky enough to be there with the principal required fourth and fifth graders to have black class. It was not part of the school district of Philadelphia core curriculum. It was something I learned later that my school administration decided for us. And the irony of the timing was so fortuitous because my parents had recently divorced or were going through a divorce. We were living in North Carolina with my father, who was in the military. And so mother returned to Philadelphia. When she did, my apologies for that. No one had for that long. Returned to Philadelphia when she did, following the divorce of my parents, and where we lived at in North Philadelphia, because as you know, you go to school based on your neighborhood. Just so happened we fell right within the zone that made it a requirement for me to attend Meade Elementary School. So had my parents divorced sooner or divorced later, we may have never lived in that neighborhood, which allowed me to experience the Black History class in fourth and fifth grade, which also was coincidentally my introduction to public speaking, the Black History oratorical contest in the fourth grade. In the fifth grade, I entered both of those, and I won both years. Now, fast forward about 12 years later, when I graduated from Millersville University of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where I did my undergrad, I come back home to Philadelphia, Marcus Garvey movement, Universal Negro Improvement Association, African Community League. This is the largest Black mass movement in modern history. The organization is the red, black, and green flag. And the UNIA is literally 3 blocks away from where I had my introduction into Black history. And so when I joined the Garvey movement in '97, after graduation from undergrad, they started asking me to give small talks, the elders there, on what psychology was doing to Black children. What is the concerns, the issues, the challenges? And so then when I went to graduate school, also at Millersville University, that's where I studied school psychology. And I came back and the elders will once again will say, what is a school psychologist and what do you do? And what is special ed and ADHD? So my public speaking career was almost by accident RV movement where the elders just needed something to put on the agenda for the meeting. And since I'm the youngest person there, they always ask me to stand up and give the talk, for that Sunday afternoon. And then people would start to come, and I start getting invitations. Will you come to my Kwanzaa? Will you come talk to my class? Will you come to the prison? Will you come to the library? And then everything changed in 2010 when I got invited to Chicago to be part of a public access TV interview. And September 18th, 2010, and I did that Chicago interview. And as you know, Chicago is the second largest Black metropolis. 5 weeks later, I'm in Harlem, New York, speaking for the first time. And I give a lecture entitled Post-Traumatic Slavery Disease. And so that Chicago television interview and that Harlem public lecture, those two things came together, okay, like honey and sugar, and catapulted me to the top of the Black consciousness movement almost overnight. And so I have a special relationship with Chicago and a special relationship with New York. And then I have a special relationship with Atlanta because Atlanta was one of the first cities to invite me to come and speak after I exploded on the conscious scene after Chicago and New York. In fact, I have my first five is what I call them. These are the first 5 cities that I spoke at once my name became prominent. Obviously Chicago, then New York, then Atlanta, Cleveland, Ohio, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I'm missing somebody. Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Cleveland, Fort Lauderdale, and I'm missing one. So it's like the first 6. Those was the first 6 cities that said, we want you. Atlanta was one of them.
No doubt, and welcome. We love that. We love to have brothers like you, man. We need more Black men like you. Would I say Oakland by chance? Because like you already know, that's definitely the foundation of the Black Panthers.
Yes, sir. I love Oakland. Oakland is a place I didn't come to until late. My first visit to Oakland was 2015. And when I got to Oakland, California, the reception was mind-blowing and life-changing. I spoke at, I think there's a African Poetry Theater in Oakland. It's a small Black-owned theater house in Berkeley almost. And I sold that out. And there was so many people wanted to come that I had to do a second show on the same day. So Oakland was one of my first debuts where I had to do 2 talks in the same day. And we still had hundreds of people outside who wanted to get in. So that Bay Area is real big for me. I'll be back in California the end of this month, just before I come to Atlanta for the Black Wall Street Black Business Expo. I'll be in San Diego on the 20th and Leimert Park in LA on the 21st and at the Blessed Love Community Center on the 22nd. So that's 3 stops for Malcolm X's birthday week. And then the very stop after that will be Atlanta. Excited about it. Second annual Black Wall Street Black Business Expo. Very important when we deal with that because business is a big problem in the Black community. Being a psychologist, I often approach business from a psychological perspective because everything begins in the mind. And I think sometimes as Black people, we like to put the cart before the horse. We say, well, we need our own hospitals. We need our schools. We need our own supermarkets. We need our own shipping company, distribution. We need our own postal service. We need our own manufacturing sector. We need our own employment centers. Well, in order to manifest anything in the physical realm, you have to manifest it in the psychological realm. Copy of my book to protect your sons and daughters from special ed exploitation and ADHD medication. So make sure you slide through the Peachtree Plaza Hotel and come get a copy of the book for Dr. Umar. But go and register, Black family, BWSATL2022.eventbrite.com. Pan-Africanism. This is Dr. Umar Johnson, live and direct, Atlanta, Georgia. You are listening to My Celebrity Life with my big brother, GeHolla. Make sure you check him out at GeHolla.com, My Celebrity Life, for all the conscious information you need in the L. Black power.
Hey, man.
Shout
Peace,
me to
my
God
brothers.
here, man. Salute to you.
Ge.Holla of My Celebrity Life podcast.
Shout out to Ge.Holla reaching.
Shout out to Ge.Holla and
Cynthia Bailey from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I'm sending a shout out to GeHolla.